So, hi everyone. We would like to start with a little discussion around the master's prospects of Tata Institute of Social Sciences. So, very interestingly, this year, Tata Institute of Social Sciences has introduced a couple of one-year programs to their existing programs of masters. In fact, the one-year programs have been introduced under the Disaster Studies Department. There's a Masters in Disaster Informatics and Geospatial Technology, which is a one-year program. A one-year PG program essentially requires you to come from a master's background. In some cases, might be a little background requirement, and in most of the cases, you could also pursue a 4 years of bachelor's program. So, like the disaster studies program, we are also seeing there is an addition in the mental health program under human ecology. So they have like programs like animal assisted therapy and counseling, MA program, MA in global mental health. Again, for students who already have a master's in psychology, they can actually add an MA in global health as a specialization. So these are some of the new addition to the already existing programs, as well as I would also like to show this to all of you that the Hyderabad campus has introduced three post-graduation diploma courses from Cities and Governance. Cities and Governance PG diploma course was there last year also. The Natural Resource and Governance, which earlier used to be under the Livelihood School, is now being adopted by the Public Policy School of Governance of Hyderabad campus. They are also offering a post-graduation diploma course under the same ambit, so as the Public Policy and Governance diploma program. But most importantly, when it comes to Tata Institute of Social Sciences master's applications, every year, we find aspirants, they are heavily biased towards certain handful of courses from the TIS campuses. And amongst these courses, majorly, one would say that, the course of Human Resource Management and Labor Relations from the TIS Mumbai campus, it usually, becomes the most popular choice, since a country which is essentially obsessed with MBA and believes that without an MBA, you really cannot go ahead in your career, finds it convenient to choose a human resource management and labor relations of TISS Mumbai as an alternative in case they cannot get through a CAT or a ZAT exam into the IIMs and the XLRIs. But in contrary to the popular belief, I would like to put this into record that TISS, all PG programs every year, they register 100% placement opportunities from all the courses. And we say that with that authority because we have been, part of the TISS placement training cell quite often. I'm going to share, certain preview of our work that we have been doing with TISS over the years. This is a program like the last workshop we did with TISS Guwahati campus, training all their master students at the Guwahati campus for their placements. So as you can see, this was the batch of 2022 that graduated this year. And everyone, from this batch has been, placed, and they are doing a great job in working with the impact sector across different intersectionalities, across, foundations, across government missions, schemes, think tanks, across the management bodies also, in the nooks and corners of the country. In the same way, we had also conducted a similar training program for the MHA, that is the Masters in Hospital Administration batch of TISS Mumbai, training all the students from the MHA course very, very minutely for their placements. We provided micro mentorship, that is one is to one mentorship to each of the students. And that really paved the way to one of the strongest placements that you can see in the recent years. And from MHA, we would also like to showcase to all of you another workshop that we had conducted for TIS Hyderabad batch this year, which was majorly focused on preparing for the social sector jobs. So just to set the tone for everyone, that when we say that the placements of TISS is pretty much uniform across all the departments and courses, we definitely say that from our own experience of working very close with the student placement committees of TISS different campuses over the years, along with, of course, close to 12 plus years of experience of mentoring students and working professionals for the master's program of TISS, preparing them for TISNET in a way which is optimized and contextualized to the requirement of the TISNET exam, and which is very different from an MBA entrance exam, very different from a bank exam, very different from an SSC exam, and definitely very different from an UPSC exam. So coming to the master's prospects of TISS, one would definitely vouch for choosing courses in TIS in a way which not only matches with your interest level, but most importantly also caters to certain aspect of the feasibility, which is very significant. So say, for example, if I showcase to all of you how say the different the campuses of TISS, Shreya, Manira have lined up for their placements, my request would be to definitely visit the website of tiss.edu, go to the placements portal and see in details the placement brochure for each of the campuses. And if I take you to the placement brochure, supposedly say of TIS Guwahati campus, and I open the placement brochure for all of you, because at the end of the day, we are planning to pursue programs so that it ends or it provides us with an employment opportunity, right? It gives us a scope to earn. It gives us a scope to increase our income generating capacity with skills. So a campus like this Guwahati, which apparently we find not too many of our students may or maybe, completely well versed with, many people from across the country have very different feelings about going and studying in the northeastern India, or for various reasons, social reasons, political reasons. However, the TIS Guwahati campus stands out to be an exceptional seat of learning and learning outcomes, placing students in the really important, impactful areas with skill sets which are commensurate to the market. So I'm just going to quickly, scroll down this brochure, which you can, of course, see it on your own anytime if you visit the TISS website. In the brochure, I'm going to quickly take all of you to the segment of the placement organizations that have recruited students in the recent years. And in that, with that opportunity, I'll also be trying to show to each of you some of our students from the TIS Guwahati campus who are doing a remarkable job, whether it is an employment opportunity, whether it is even in research opportunity. So moving forward to the placement, the past recruiters, if you see people from representing organizations from the Gandhi Fellowship to National Rural Livelihood Mission to the organizations like NAS Foundation, ATRI, then Balipada Foundation, SOS Children Village, the National Innovation Foundation, NIF, which is a government undertaking body, HCL Foundation, Foundation for Ecological Security, which is an international agency working extensively in the field of biodiversity, ecology, farming, agriculture in India, World Wildlife Fund, WWF, Wildlife Trust of India, PRAVA, NTUI, Srijan, you can name it. And there are so many of these organizations, including UNICEF, UNFPA, that are hiring students big time. I would like to draw everyone's attention to one of our recent alumni from Catalyst, Momita Banerjee. With a background of pursuing sociology in Jadavpur University, Momita joined Catalyst to prepare for the master's, and she went forward to clear the MA Peace and Conflict Studies interviews with our support, after which she found a job and started working in the initial days with Missing Link Trust as a project associate, and now she's working as a young professional under the Sankalp scheme of the Paschim Banga Society for Skill Development, which is the PBSSD. Momita works in Kolkata. She is part of the PBSSD office and set up in Rajarhat, Newtown. And she got hired with that background of peace and conflict studies. So in terms of placements and in terms of opportunity, TIS Guwahati campus does provide you with a limitless choice. So someone like Kusumika Ghosh, who's right now PhD scholar at Dublin University, also comes from a peace and conflict studies background of TIS Guwahati campus. And as you can see from a political science honors, Kusumika was part of Catalyst. While preparing for her master's, she went to clear MA Peace and Conflict Studies. And after which she worked extensively with Calcutta Research Group. Kusumika also published a couple of books that actually were sold out on Amazon. And then she went forward with an application to PhD to Dublin, where she's right now working in the School of Law and Governance as a full-time researcher under their doctoral program. From Kusumika, I would also like to draw attention to someone like Chandri Gupta. Chandri also went to TIS Guwahati. She was studying sociology at President's University when she joined Catalyst. We supported her in her full-fledged preparation, in her fieldwork support, and she went forward with her master's in livelihood and social entrepreneurship, which is a social work program offered by the TIS Guwahati campus. And after which she's right now, as you can see, after a couple of years of working with Prayas and UNI, she is at this moment a senior executive in Bengaluru with the Foundation for Excellence. The job that she is in is a lot connected with the donor relationship management, donor reporting. She, essentially ensures that the relationship is maintained well, in a symbiotic way between the donor and the recipient organization, because the social sector thrives essentially on the harmony of relationship across the different stakeholders. So that is like, kind of a little glossary of how the TIS Guwahati campus also gives you very strong opportunities. And from TIS Guwahati campus, I would like to draw attention to a campus not in Mumbai or Hyderabad, but the campus in Tuljapur. Because again, we see a very mixed reactions amongst the students when they're applying to these campuses, presumably because, beyond the 7 or 8 cities of in India, we may or may not have that confidence level to go and study. And we might also feel that outside cities, even if there is a campus, the placements may not be that great because recruiters may not come. But that does not happen in an ecosystem like Tata Institute of Social Sciences. From Kudumbashree Kerala to Umeed, from JSLPES, GAIL, that is Gas Authority of India Limited, HSRLM, UNICEF, ONGC for the CSR, Reliance Foundation across disaster response, Mission Mangalam, Rajivika, Pradhan, one of the largest farmer training organization, ActionAid, very well known for their response to environmental, ecological, agricultural requirements, Bandhan Bank that we are all aware of, Tata Trusts, DeHaat, a very well-known startup which has been funded by the Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation for technology-driven agricultural interventions, the Nudge Foundation that worked extensively with the ultra-poor community, or the HCL Foundation, Social Lab, Foundation for Ecological Security, whom we also saw in the TIS Guwahati campus. All of them come to recruit and hire students from TIS Tuljapur, which is of great significance. The Tuljapur campus, I would just kind of give you a little brief. It offers programs around the rural ecosystem. So right from social innovation, entrepreneurship, development policy and planning, Master of Arts in Sustainable Livelihoods, Master of Social Work in Rural Development, all that is required to work extensively in the rural intervention, which is one of the most prospective markets in our country. 80% of our country is rural. The TIS the TIS Tuljapur campus plays a very significant role in that format. From the Tuljapur, if we go back to a campus in Hyderabad, and the Hyderabad courses, if I give you briefly in a nutshell, from cities and governance to natural resource and governance, public policy, and also the course of education, which Hyderabad campus offers, along with the course on rural development and governance, along with development studies, our students in the Hyderabad campus have flourished over the years. And I would again take you back to the placement portal of TISS, specifically to the Hyderabad placement brochure. I would like to showcase to you the entire bouquet of organizations, recruiters who come to the campus every year. So from UNICEF to Ernst & Young to Uber to UNDP, KPMG, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Foundation for Ecological Security, Impact Guru, Pradhan, I Teach, Care, you name it. And there are someone or the other who are doing very good work and are important for the sector, whether it is corporate, whether it is government bodies, whether it is non-profit organizations, whether it is social enterprises, social startups. It's a very exciting space to work. And especially courses like public policy, they are now becoming the harness, for businesses. So, we can name n number of students, like suppose public policy. If I take you, for example, someone like a Spriha Pandey, from a public policy course in Hyderabad, Spriha went forward and worked extensively with places like Reliance Foundation, NASCOM Foundation. She's now a senior associate with IT and technology with Chase India, one of South Asia's largest policy advocacy firm. So, like Spriha, I would also like to share with all of you an example of Srijita Chakraborty from a program like Natural Resource and Governance. Srijita is now working as a young professional with the government of Orissa, essentially with the Poverty and Human Development Monitoring Agency. So Srijita was our student while she was in Loreto College, pursuing a political science. Spriha was, as you saw earlier, was with St. Xavier's College. Both of them had joined Catalyst in the same time while they were in their bachelor's degree, pursued and got supported by our program, and then joined the course of Natural Resource and Governance and the TISS Hyderabad campus. So that is something very, very significant. Moving forward, if I also show you a program from TISS Hyderabad on development studies, I would quickly share the profile of someone like Apurva Guriti. Apurva is now working with a leading philanthropy initiative called Dasra. Dasra Foundation is actually an offshoot of Bain & Company. Apurva was studying in Catalyst after her bachelor's, and she joined, women's studies, not development, which is under the School of Development Studies. And then she worked extensively as a POSH compliance consultant. She worked as, SRH manager of MTV. She got an opportunity to work with Prerna. And now for the last 1.5 years, close to that, she's working full-time with Dasra Foundation. So like Apurva, another example of someone from the TISS Development Studies Hyderabad campus. I would like to give you the example of Camelia Reja. Camelia Reja, again for gender studies, I'll just kind of share with you someone like an Arjun Mukherjee from development studies. Arjun is right now pursuing a PhD. Arjun joined the development studies course while he was pursuing political science in Precedence University. And then he worked extensively, as you can see, with ActionAid, CARE. He became a journalist with Financial Express for a stint of close to 2 years. Then he briefly worked as an analyst with the sustainable agriculture company, Syngenta. And now Arjun is pursuing a PhD scholar program in development studies from Ambedkar University, New Delhi. So that is the TISS Hyderabad, outcomes majorly for all of you. Of course, last but not the least, from public policy, would also like to share the example of Shomo Shekhar Gangopadhyay, with working with the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Shomo joined Catalyst with an intention to pursue the civil services. However, we gave him a parallel opportunity to pursue public policy from a background of English literature at Scottish Church College, Kolkata. Shomo went forward with completing his public policy masters. He also got an opportunity as an exchange student with Sciences Po Paris, for a half a semester while pursuing the public policy course at TISS Hyderabad. After completing the course, Shomu first worked as an associate with the Andhra Pradesh government. He also worked with the Institute of Competitiveness, which was formed by the Harvard Business School directly by Michael Porter, supporting the Niti Aayog interventions. He was instrumental in actually curating and compiling one of the National Innovation Index, which Niti Aayog publishes every year. From there, Shomu became a fellow of the government of Punjab, worked extensively during the COVID-19 lockdown. Peak pandemic time, Shomu was on the field, supporting the Punjab government mitigate through the crisis. And eventually now, since May 2022, Shomu has joined the Ministry of Commerce and Industry as a consultant, working towards the ease of implementation for the Pradhan Mantri Gati Shakti project. So that's another very significant format of work that our students are doing. And from Hyderabad, when we go back to the oldest campus of TISS, which is Mumbai, uh, every course in Mumbai, if I talk about, we have some really interesting students over the years working. I would like to first share the example of someone like a Pratibha Kalib. Pratibha was in Loreto College when she joined Catalyst from a background of geography, liked geography, but did not want to continue necessarily with a master's in geography. That is where Pratibha was guided, and she pursued urban policy and governance. After which, there was really no looking back. Right from working as an intern with the National Institute of Urban Affairs during her course of urban policy and governance, Pratibha went on to become a consultant with the well-known Council of Energy, Environment and Water. Then she was a deputy manager with a really strong organization called Development Alternatives, DEVALT, as they say, and worked in the space of sustainability in urban spaces. And since the last 3 years or close to 4 years now, Pratibha has been working with ICLEI South Asia, which is again a really well-known think tank to advise organizations on the aspects of sustainability, energy and resource efficiency, and so on and so forth. So Pratibha is one of such example. Of course, in TISS Hyderabad, we have courses in human ecology, which is like mental health. And we have some really strong students, like someone like Rupsha Kormukar, also from Loreto College, Kolkata. Rupsha is right now PhD scholar with TISS. She pursued a master's in clinical psychology, then went forward with her MPhil. She worked extensively with Tata Medical, Neil Ratan Sarkar Medical College and Hospital in Kolkata. She has worked as a marriage and family therapist, neuropsychologist, a substance abuse counselor, and you name it. So she was also a consultant psychologist for the Teach for India program. So like Rupsha, we have had some, again, very strong outcomes with the Mumbai campus, someone like Olimita Roy. Olimita is now working with Aon, which is a well-known consulting firm. Olimita comes from a background of political science, and then she went forward with her human resource management and labor relations in this Mumbai campus. She first worked full-time with Oyo Rooms. Then she became, for briefly, an HR manager with Byju's. And now, for the past 11 months, Olimita is working as a consultant with Aon, like a full-time consultant in the space of human resource management and intervention. And from this Mumbai, we do have some more interesting names, like people like Debankur Talukdar. Debankur got placed recently with NTPC Talcher, National Thermal Power Corporation, at a very, very competitive salary as a CSR executive. Debankur was our student, while he was pursuing a political science from Calcutta University. And he went forward with a master's in social work in community organization and development practice. Now he's working as a CSR executive with NTPC. From Devankur, if I take another example of someone like a Shubham Boshak, a very interesting profile. Shubham was a completely from a different background. He was an engineer from Shivpur College, was working with Paharpur Cooling Towers when he joined Catalyst, and he went to crack MSW Livelihood and Social Entrepreneurship, after which Shubham also worked as a CSR executive with NTPC for close to a year, after which Shubham, decided to further his career education, and he went forward with his application, and as we speak, Shubham is pursuing a doctoral studies, a DPhil, in the Department of International Development at the University of Oxford in the United Kingdom. So that is again a great, sort of a understanding of how career can really, uh, you know, uh, grow across the different parameters. So every course at TIS across the Mumbai, across Tuljapur, across Hyderabad, Guwahati gives you equal opportunity, provided you understand what the course demands. And that is where we specialize at Catalyst. Right from the time when an aspirant enrolls into our learning system, we handhold and guide you with exposure, not just information. We connect you with people like all of them that you saw right now to understand what they are working, how they are thinking, so that you have a clarity of what is suitable for you and what is not, right? Because it's not just about identifying the right course, it is also being sure of what does not fit into your bill. And that is how the handholding support, extending into the comprehensive learning, training, coverage of syllabus for the entrance exam, like a TISNet, or even like, beyond TIS, like an Azim Premji University or an NLSIU public policy, we provide you that entire guidance and mentorship in a very extensive level on a one-to-one to a one-to-a group basis. Because we understand each of you at an individual level are bringing in unique propositions to the table, and that is the reason why the society needs your presence in a skilled format. So I hope today's session about the master's prospect of TIS is kind of clear so that you understand that it is not just a couple of courses, but across the 50 plus programs of TISS, each program has its own unique proposition, even in terms of placements, even in terms of very good salary, very good career trajectory. India is a country which is extremely nascent in respect to the human service professional supply. We have been resplendent, with our supply of engineers, doctors, and management grads over the year. But our deeper problems are poverty, malnutrition, hunger, gender discrimination, climate crisis now, big time. So students from social sciences, they can actually work in this area. They can address issues of mental health crisis. They can actually help engineers to create applications which will create better equity and make the society a more just space to stay in. So thank you so much for listening to us about the TIS Masters Prospect. We would welcome you to join our course, be part of the Catalyst brand wagon, like so many of our students over the last 12 years have been, and be part of exciting opportunities that will ensure that your career growth is future proof, because these are the sectors which are now rising up. Thank you so much.